Hello, everybody, and season 7 has just been announced. Whoa, yeah! But that means we have to finish season 6. So, what are we waiting for? Today, we're going to be reacting to Protestors. Not Protesters. Now, I'm assuming this is about the protests of 1968, yep. Now, I don't know much about them except that they focus on the Civil War or the Vietnam War. I can't remember. I can't exactly remember. But, finally, a historical episode. Let's fucking go. Protesters. And the Joey episode is going to be the next one. Oh, yes, I'm so excited.
If I had to pick one word to describe the 1960s, it would be active. More so than ever before, people were getting involved in a variety of causes. On Sodor, the largest of these movements was the environment. For the most part, these newfound conservationists planted trees and picked up rubbish. However, some would stage protests outside the island's mines, factories, and quarries, demanding they either close down or adopt more eco-friendly practices. To be fair, these demonstrations were mostly peaceful, but sometimes the more zealous protesters would vandalize the businesses they picketed. And since we serviced many of these places, I'm sorry to say we also became targets. Where did they get the pig's blood? I don't know where they got it from, but I could see where they thought it was going. I wasn't about to let myself get doused, so I blasted them with steam.
Wait,
I'm
what?
sorry to
Whoa,
say
wait.
we also became targets.
The pig's blood? Why would you get pig's blood and then throw it on the road? Also, the protesters, aren't they about the Civil War? I'm sure I'm just thinking this is going down a different direction.
Where did they get the pig's blood? I don't know where they got it from, but I could see where they thought it was going. I wasn't about to let myself get doused, so I blasted them with steam. Soil, not oil. Shut your gob, you. What's wrong, Constable? Afraid of a little democracy in action? Bust my buffers. What are you doing here, Norman? The same as usual, striking a blow for the cause. I'll strike you if you're not careful. Is that what you tell your wife? That's enough, all of you. Mr. Grant, I strongly advise you to keep your mouth shut. And Constable Rollins, control your temper. Take this lot away from processing. Yes, Inspector. Come on, you horrible lot. Will you shut up? Bloody tree huggers come swanning in demanding we make changes and then throw a tantrum when we don't.
Honestly, while I was kind of expecting the 1968 protest and the preview even said that, but now having sort of an environmental protest, that actually makes Sodor one of the most eco-friendly countries in the world, because even in ours, it may look full of trees, but, like, even so, there are still places where there are, like, machines with tall chimneys, blasting out steam. So having Sodor having protest over eco-friendliness is pretty cool. I like it.
They're worse than children. They're also complete hypocrites. What are they?
They're worse than children. I can kind of see where that's coming from. Like, I can kind of see where they're coming from, because, yeah, no need to argue there.
Spewing those buses they rode up in, sunshine and magic beans? I'll say, to think I fought for their right to be stupid. If it helps, Toad, I appreciate your service. It does help, thanks. It would be even more helpful if you told that lot to shove off. Sorry, Toad, but they have a right to protest. The only way we can intervene is if their actions are disruptive or harmful. They're giving me a headache. Does that count? Sorry. Well, I've had to listen to their drivel all morning and I can't take it anymore. Please tell me you need a brake van for your train to Waterton. Yes, I do. Come on.
And what's gonna happen now?
Morning, Wendell. Hello, Norman. You're out already? Some of us have friends in high places. Maybe if you stayed on the straight and narrow, you wouldn't need such friends. How many times have you been pinched? 5? 6? Yesterday makes 7. Lucky 7. If you
Oh god, not the 6-7 meme. Oh my god, I can't stand it.
Really lucky, you wouldn't have gotten arrested at all. In my line of work, that's a badge of honor. I don't think there's such a thing as a professional troublemaker. Wait.
Well, I mean, you do have Johnny Cuba, Dudley, Jeffrey in the past, but he changed.
Try doing something meaningful with your life. I'm doing the most meaningful thing a man can do with his life. I'm fighting for Mother Nature.
Also notice that building in the background. That is the same model of the institution where Charlie Green went to, if you remember the episode Spectre, where James's guard went insane, basically. Just watch the episode and you'll see.
And throwing pig's blood is going to help that fight? Of course. Sometimes you have to get a little extreme to attract people's attention. But at what cost? You lot aren't exactly popular. If you really want to make a difference, isn't it best to get the public on your side? And we have been. Our numbers are going up all the time, usually after we've struck a blow. But are you attracting true believers or hoodlums? Either suits me if it gets the job done. Why are you still friends with him? I have no idea. It's such a shame. He used to be so different. How long have you known him? Since we arrived on this branch. Back then he...
You know, I actually think Kate being the Waterton branch, well, I do prefer on Thomas's branch line. It makes sense. Her basis, I believe, is a Great Western thingy or whatever. It used to say on the wiki, but now the wiki's whoosh, passed away. The wiki died. It's gone. It's done. But we do have the TV tropes article about stories of Sodor, and oh my fucking god, it is so fucking terrible. I hate it. There are so many things on there that just make me want to climb up a wall, like fast, fantastic racism. You're just making up things at this point. Saying John Starr, saying Kate gave Thomas a death stare. What else is there? Saying that Sodor shorts are Kansas. You know what I mean? It feels like it was written by some guys who had no clue what the series was. But also, I don't know if you can see it, but Kay is green. Yeah, no shit. She was in the last season. But because of the dark colors, you can't really see the colors right. Especially now that my phone is reflecting over the damn...
Would organize petitions and the like. But over time, he became more fanatical. So it was very satisfying getting to weesh him and his cronies. Hopefully that'll knock some sense into him. It hasn't, and neither of his multiple arrests. I almost think he enjoys being inside, which I can't understand. Once was too much for me. He's a lost cause.
Well, he did say he has some buddies that got him out of prison, so maybe that's why he's there, because his friends are there?
Wendell, even his own parents disowned him. Do yourself
What?
a favor and give him the...
What? Okay, that's some pretty interesting parenting, but okay.
boot. Maybe I should. If he's willing to use pig's blood as a weapon, I shudder to think what else he's capable of.
He's probably capable of some real shit. What the
Oi, you! Stop! Get back here!
What the fuck's
Oh!
Oh my... He killed him.
What's going on? One of the security guards is dead. What? Who? Kyle Baxter. Oh my god, that's horrible. He was getting married next month. What happened?
Honestly, again, kind of reminds me of Charlie Green back from Spectre. He was gonna get married next month, but instead of dying, he went crazy.
There's some unfinished graffiti on the wall over there. We think Mr. Baxter caught the perpetrator in the act and gave chase. And those bloody tree huggers killed him? Or it could have been an accident. We don't have all the details yet.
Wait, actually, oh my god, this is the thing that we learned in English. What was the word? I forgot, but it's when the audience knows something that the characters, in this case, the engines, don't. In this case, we know that Mr. Norman, Norman, killed him and punched him, and then he went BAM over the barrel. And, wow, protesters are fucking... They're crazier than Romania, because if you don't know, this September, the teachers went on strike, and so they were, like, protesting, going on strike due to the government not paying them. This isn't the case with state schools, but with private schools, but with state schools, the state didn't pay them, so they went on strike. Even in our country, these are like the strikes that we get on steroids.
Either way, it would be wrong to assume the protesters were responsible, but assume is exactly what everyone did. Public sentiment towards the protesters had always been tense. When word got out they may have killed an innocent man, it became outright hostile.
Oh my god, punching noises, what the hell?
Leading to a crackdown by the police. Dozens of people were arrested, mostly demonstrators.
Wow.
In hindsight, the authorities were clearly using Mr. Baxter's death as a pretense to disrupt the protesters. It never crossed our minds that maybe they were taking advantage of the situation, but that didn't stop Wendell from challenging their more questionable actions. What are you running them in for? Disorderly conduct. We heard they were throwing things at you engines. Someone's been telling you porkies, Constable Rollins. They weren't doing anything. But they have nothing to worry about, which is more than can be said for you. I saw you hit one of them in the gut. You need your eyes checked. Rubbish. You saw it, didn't you, Will? No, I didn't. So it's my word versus yours, and nobody cares what a felon has to say. That was 30 years ago. I haven't committed a single crime since. Or you just haven't been caught. Once a crook, always a crook. Then you won't
Bollocks.
mind if I file a complaint. Go for your life. I could use a good laugh. Rotten swine. And
Yep,
so are you.
go for it, Wendell.
I know you don't like the protesters, but I can't believe you want them to get hurt. I don't. But I'm not going to say I saw a copper beat one of them when I didn't. Well, I know he did, and I'm going to report it to Joey. Are you sure that's a good idea? Why wouldn't it be? I think if you
Yep,
badmouth
go
the
for it.
policeman, he'll be less likely to help you when you need it. I'll take that risk. Joey, this is Wendell. Come in, over.
Oh, Wendell. Wendell, go for it. Go full steam ahead. Tell him. I completely forgot the engines had radios. Oh my god. I completely forgot the engines had radios. I was just thinking, oh, Wendell's just gonna puff over to the railgate and tell Joey and all that. But the fact that they have radios is just... I don't think trains do that in real life, but... Nah, cool.
What did he say? That he'll come by later to take my statement. But now I'm starting to wonder what's the point. Rollins didn't seem overly concerned, and how credible am I as an ex-con? Don't worry about that, Wendell. What you did wasn't exactly the crime of the century, and it's not like you wanted to do it. Just tell Joey what you saw. I'm surprised to hear you say that, Toad. I have expected you to tell me to keep my mouth shut, and if the coppers hadn't been so heavy-handed lately, I might have. But I didn't fight against a police state just so Britain could become one. And it's a good thing Joey is coming. I need to have a word with him. About what?
What about? Ooh,
Thank
nice.
you, Wendell. If these accusations are true,
Nice
then Constable
transition.
Rollins has committed a very serious offense. Is he looking at prison time? Depends on how severe the injuries are to the victim. In all likelihood, he'll be suspended, and that's assuming we can prove anything. Aren't you going to talk to the protester? Of course, but people don't tend to say nice things about the officers that arrest them. It all comes down to credibility. Exactly. Nonetheless, I'll look into the matter thoroughly. I know you will. And there's something else. Told us some information you need to hear about Rollins and the Baxter case. I was at Waterton the night it happened. What? You're a
Ooh.
witness? Sort of. I was asleep in a siding when I was woken up by a loud bang. I didn't see what it was, but I did see Norman Grant running across the compound. How do you know it was him? Last year, he got caught writing graffiti on my side. I made sure to remember his face.
Oh, finally, some continuity to season 5. Great.
If you're so certain it was him, why didn't you say anything? I did. I told Constable Rollins the morning after it happened. He said he'd look into it and told me to keep quiet. If this is true, he better have a good explanation.
Wow.
He's wrong. I never spoke to him. It must have been someone else. Toad was certain it was you.
I like the beach location. The fact that 2 officers are just talking to each other at like the local beach. Was it like Waterton? I believe it was Bluffs Cove, I think. I can't really remember, but just the sight of 2 police officers just talking to each other at the beach is certainly unexpected and pretty creative location, but I like it.
There was the...
And also maybe makes sense because the beach is a place where tourists come, so maybe the protesters disrupted the people's fun at the beach for this.
same officer that pitched Mr. Grant for tagging him. And according to his arrest record, that was you. I don't remember, but if that's what it says, do you also not remember he was one of the protesters we collared at Tidmouth the other day? Yes, I do. I also remember processing him like you ordered. That's interesting because I checked, and only his accomplices have gone through the system. Mr. Grant seems to have fallen through the cracks. I don't know what to say. I filed all the paperwork. If something got lost in the shuffle, that's not my fault. Then you won't mind resubmitting the necessary forms, will you? That might take a while. I'm working double shifts. These protesters have been keeping us busy. And while we're on the topic, a complaint has been made against you, so Wendell went through with it. I shouldn't be surprised. Their kind always cover for each other. Their kind? Crooks. So you denied the allegation? Yes, I didn't hit that bloody tree hugger, and he'll tell you the same. I'm sure he will. Thank you, Constable. You can return to your duties.
Huh. I love the sound effects.
You believe him? No, but my gut doesn't count as evidence. There's something else. You said Mr. Grant claims he's been arrested multiple times? Well, the only one on his record is from when he tagged Toad. Really? Maybe he was just boasting. Or maybe... What? He did say he has friends in high places. Perhaps there's something going on between him and Rollins. He could be bribing him. Whatever the truth is, we need to find it as soon as possible. We? I'm not just confiding in you because you're a good listener, Wendell. I need your help. Mr. Grant considers you a friend, doesn't he? I think so. Why?
Artemis
Wendell.
Holt.
Norman, there you are. I haven't seen you for days. I've been keeping my head down since that security guard snuffed it. I'm not surprised. They've been rounding up protesters left, right, and center. I thought maybe you got pinched. Even if you did, I'm sure Constable Rollins would have helped you out. What do you mean? There's a rumor going around you've been paying Rollins to keep you out of jail. Pah! He wishes. Are you saying it's not true? Of course it isn't. I wouldn't waste my money on a copper, especially when I don't have to. I've got that pig by the short and curlies. That sounds more like blackmail than bribery, because it is. Grant has evidence that Rollins has been abusing
I love
his
these
wife.
sound
What
effects.
sort of evidence? A photograph. He wanted to dig up dirt on Rollins after he was arrested, so he took a camera around to the constable's house and, in his words, struck gold the first time. Obviously, he never thought to tell the police. No, he figured having a copper in his back pocket would be very useful. It took every ounce of self-control I had to not blast him with steam. I'll bet. Did he say anything about the Baxter case? He admits he was there and he got caught, so he legged it. But he swears he didn't touch Kyle. He reckons he must have tripped and hit his head. Do you believe him? No, but like you said, gut doesn't count as evidence. Let's just hope there's enough to put him and Rollins away for a very long time. Thankfully, there was. Norman Grant was charged with the murder of Kyle Baxter. The statements provided by Wendell and Toad were enough for him to plead guilty. The police also found the photo he had been holding over Rollins. The constable was swiftly arrested and had the book thrown at him. In an ironic twist, his malfeasance united the protesters and the public. They began demanding the local authorities be investigated for any other signs of corruption. So an inquiry was launched, and I'm sorry to say, it didn't take long for them to discover there was more than one crooked copper on Sodor. But that is a story for another day.
And this is gonna lead into adjustment. So, protesters, what do I think of it? Well, certainly it wasn't what I was expecting. This idea of protesters protesting over this episode was certainly interesting, because I was kind of expecting those protests to happen in 1968, if I'm not mistaken. But this is a new change, and I actually like this. It's really good. I like it. And, yeah, I find the idea of the engines on the Waterton branch and the Little Western coming together and actually helping Joey. And Joey being a main character is always great. But to be honest, I kind of now am, like, back when Joey was announced to be Thomas's replacement, I was like, why? There's no connection, why? But now I realize just how good the idea is. Seriously, a massive problem that Joey has is that he has no flaws. Really, he has no flaws. He's just a loyal, reliable police officer, blah, 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 blah. If you put him in a different role as a passenger engine, you can give him flaws. And flaws is what makes a character interesting. So overall, I like Protesters. It's an interesting one. And having the whole twist about the copper doing things, and all the twists of that, wow, that was a really great episode. So, yeah, thank you for watching, and if you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Bye-bye.